Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first team meeting of June. Yay! Good to see all of you here. And I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who joined us right before this for Red Bench. Thanks for your patience. For those of you who weren't on that, we were just wrapping that up and moving on to this. So the Red Bench conversation was wonderful, and I am excited to tell you that we will have another similar conversation. We'll just be continuing the conversation, and everybody who wasn't there is welcome to join us for that. And we'll have that at 10 a.m. before the next team meeting. So in 2 weeks, we'll have another conversation. So I hope that if you weren't able to make it for today, that you will be there next time. And I'm just looking forward to continuing that wonderful conversation. And so with that, we're going to take it away for the team meeting here. We've got a great lineup today. All right, so there is an opportunity for gratitude and bucket fills. And if anybody wants to unmute themselves and share one out loud, you are welcome to. Otherwise, you can throw something in the chat if you would rather do that. But if anybody wants to vocalize something, go for it.
I can say one. Oh, go ahead, Olivia.
I was just going to say thank you to Melissa as the leader of our company for taking a stand and getting us all together today for Red Bench. It was incredibly powerful for me, and I feel like the people in the room, the people that were on Zoom, and those of you that weren't able to make it, I feel like we can really take a stand and make change here in the future. And like Melissa said, be pillars in the community. And I'm grateful for your leadership that you pulled us all together. So thank you.
Olivia.
I can go to, so if you guys have seen, we started Financial Peace University on Monday, and super awesome. We had 15 families, or 15 families join us. And so that was awesome. And actually bucket fill to both Michelle Markison and Tenley. They have agreed to help lead some of those sessions. So I was kind of telling them that, man, it's a lot to lead all of those and take it at the same time. And so they are stepping up in leadership because they're awesome and just natural born leaders. So thank you guys. You're awesome.
Yay. And thank you, Steph, for organizing that and for your leadership in Financial Peace University. 15 families, that's fantastic. Just think of the lives that will be changed from that. So that is so exciting. All right. Well, if you've got anything else you want to add, throw it into the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on and talk a little bit about coming soon and buyer needs. So Taylor, take it.
Hey guys. So I'm going to go through all the coming soon listings and then also the buyer needs. Just a reminder, I post this in the Facebook group too, so you can access it afterwards and use it as a resource after the team meeting. So kick it off and go through these real quick. Next week, Kelly Arvidsson has one 194.9 in Eagan, multi-level townhouse, 3-bed, 2-bath. She's also got one this week about June 8th. 340 to 350 in Lakeville on Hibiscus, 4-level split, 4-bed, 3-bath. Sarah Anderson has 3 coming up. So one this week, actually tomorrow, 485 in Eagan. It's a Rambler, 3-bed, 3-bath. She also has one this week too, 175 in Minneapolis, a condo, 1-bed, 1-bath. And then lastly, on the 18th, she's got one 264 in Apple Valley. It's a townhouse, 2-bed, 1-bath. Cheryl Cummings has one mid-June, 419 in New Prague. It's a split entry, 4-bed, 2-bath. Rose Lily has one coming on 180 in the Shakopee area, townhouse, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-bed, 2-bath. Melissa Merseth has one next week, 270 in Rosemont, a Rambler, 3-bed, 1-bath. Jason Oliver has one today, 290 in Columbia Heights, 1.5 single family, 5-bed, 3-bath. And then tomorrow, Chase has one 260 in Cottage Grove, split entry, 3-bed, 2-bath. And then next week, he also has one 220 St. Paul, 2-story, 2-bed, 1-bath. Anybody else on that wants to speak to a coming soon that we didn't run through here? Okay, gonna switch over to buyer needs then real quick. Ian's got one looking under 600, St. Louis Park, South Minneapolis area, something updated. Andy's got one 400 to 600, Lakeville, Farmington, Apple Valley, 5 beds at least, newer build, open floor plan. Kelly's got one up to 270, 30-minute radius of Inver Grove. Any style, at least 3 bed, 2 bath. Cheryl's got one 425, Egan, Apple Valley, Burnsville, large Rambler, at least 2 bed, 2 bath. Sarah's looking up to 300, St. Louis Park, Golden Valley, Minnetonka, single family, 3 bed, 2 bath. Rose has a couple up to 160, anywhere in the metro, townhouse, 2 bed, 2 bath. And then also up to 180, anywhere in the metro, single family, 2 bed, 2 bath. Kristen Nelson has one up to 375 in 196 school district, open to the style, at least 3 bed, 3 bath. And then Tom, saw you on here, up to 250, Farmington, townhouse, 2 bed, 1 bath. Tina has one up to 425, Northfield School District, single family, 3 bed, 2 bath, and then also up to 400 in Farmington, single family, 2 bed, 2 bath. Chase, looking up to 230, Burnsville, Bloomington surrounding area, single family, 2 bed, 1 bath. And then Tom's got another one up to 135, Rosemont, Apple Valley, Egan, Burnsville, condo, 1 bed, 1 bath. Seeing a couple other people post in the comments, so if you have other ones, please post there, or if you got questions, you guys can ask each other there too. I don't think we had, we did have 1 rental this week. Available beginning of August, Cheryl up to 1,800 a month, Lakeville, Prior Lake, Savage, Apple Valley, looking for a townhouse, 3 bed, 2 bath. So reminder, we got rentals on here too now. So cool. I'll kick it back to you, Melissa.
Great, thank you. All right, so I wanted to extend a warm welcome to a couple of new agents who have joined the Market Center, Angelina and Chad. We don't have a picture for Chad yet, but once we do, then you'll know who to look for. And again, I say this every time that we have to meet on Zoom. We will, have a big celebration and really truly warmly welcome everybody who's joined the family since we haven't been meeting in person. Once we can meet in person again as a big group. So I'm looking forward to that, but 2 new faces around the Market Center, so that's exciting. And also exciting is congrats to a couple of cappers. Tenley is capping for the first time, and that is so exciting. We are so proud of her and honored to be in business with her. And Tina has also capped, and we continue to be very proud of her and love being in business with her as well. So 2 rock stars. Congrats on capping, ladies. All right, let's talk about a couple of upcoming classes that you are definitely going to want to be sure are on your calendar. So if you haven't figured it out, June is listings month. We all know that the MREA teaches us that listings are leverage. So we are focused this month with all of the training calendar is heavily focused on listings. And so we're really excited to have a couple of guest speakers. One, Tara Allen will be joining us via Zoom on June 24th for her class, Maximizing Leads on Listings. So how to get more leads from every listing. So be sure to get that on your calendar. And then today we have a special guest who is Brittany Brands. She'll also be teaching at the end of the month a full class. So she's going to give us a little snippet today, and then put on your calendar June 26th for the full class on her. She closed over 200 listings in a year, and that is really impressive. So we want to hear all of her secrets. So be sure you've got those classes on your calendar. And a couple other things. Today, it's been surprising, but I have been getting a lot of questions about profit share lately, which I just love. I love answering those questions, and I love that you guys are curious about profit share. And I honestly think that everybody should be more curious about profit share because it's the best thing. It's the cheapest investment you'll ever make. 0. And so if you haven't already taken a class, or if you've taken the class many times before and you just want to know some more or have a conversation, John Hoffmeister is teaching that class today at 12:30. So so join him for that class. It's definitely going to be well worth your time. On Monday, June 8th, we are doing a webinar, Home Partners of America. I know several of our agents have worked with Home Partners of America. So, and I know that we've had some questions about first-time home buyers or helping people who maybe are struggling with credit issues or things like that. So if you want to learn more about Home Partners with America and how they are helping the community and how you can be a part of partnering with them, make sure to be on that webinar on June 8th. Then we are doing, Carly is doing a class. She's going to do a listing presentation class. She's going to actually go through her listing presentation. And so that's some feedback that I actually got from some agents who joined us from other brokerages recently, that they would really love to see how other people do their listing presentations. And so really excited to have Carly teaching that. And then we all know that Keller Mortgage is a tool that we can use to generate more listings. And Colin Manson is going to teach us how he uses Keller Mortgage to start conversations that turn into more listings in his business. And then, so that's on June 10th. And then June 18th, we can all benefit from learning more about how to do CMAs. And Jason Herkamp will be teaching a class on how he goes through a CMA, and that's definitely one that you'll want to be sure is on your calendar too. So lots of great stuff coming up this month. Be sure that you've got them all scheduled on your calendar. And hopefully you saw the Hype Twins posted all about the summer listing competition, and we are really excited to kick it off. I think that Steph is going to be sending out an email with all of the particulars and all of the details, but just know that we are doing a very exciting competition all the way to the middle of July. And as a market center, we are going to be racing to the top of this prize pyramid here. So if we get 100 listings as a market center, those are the prize. That's what the prizes look like at that tier. If we get to 125 listings as a market center, we're going to add in a couple of awesome prizes. And then tier 3, we go to adding in AirPods and a Yeti cooler, which is awesome. So so collectively we'll be kind of racing to the top of that prize pyramid, and then every time you get a listing that is either active, withheld, or coming soon, you earn an entry into the drawing. So get out there and get your listing.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Let me just remind people too that with each tier, the first tier, the staff will do something funny. Second tier, the staff and Melissa will do something funny. And then third tier, we have yet to decide, but we think that Olivia should have to do something funny and embarrassing. And so if you've got some ideas, send them my way, put them in the chat. Yeah, because we would just love to.
No dogs, no pets. No pets
all
or
the
dogs.
dogs.
Cats,
All the
no
dogs.
dogs. Yeah. 0 dogs. No dogs.
Well, if we get 150 listings in a month, I don't know. I'll give her a Benadryl and then we'll cover her with puppies. Okay, so yay, very exciting. All right, wanted to remind you that the time is now to get your CE done, Melissa included. So if you would like to save some money on your CE classes, there is your promo code for June. You can still save 25%. So if you haven't already paid for your classes, use that code June25 if you want to take it via the CE shop. So be sure that you get those done. I know, and I just also want to mention that you probably got an email from Steph, and please just be sending her your transcript so as you can imagine, 155 agents, it's a lot to keep track of. And so just do your part to help her out by sending her that transcript. That'll be very appreciated. All right. And now Brian and Drake from New American Funding have the floor. So take it away, fellas.
Thanks, Melissa. I'm a little distracted here coming up with embarrassing things for Olivia, but let me get to this. So I had a lot of interest from agents regarding our recast program, so I want to just take a little time to go a little more in depth on it. So often we have customers who don't want to go through the hassle of selling their existing home and then turning around and buying their new home on the same day. You got a lot of stress of moving, packing, unpacking, and all that coordination of their own personal property. And normally I would tell a customer, you know what, it seems like it's tough, but it always works out. But for those customers who really are stressing about it, we have a recast program that many of our customers will qualify for. And what it means is that they can purchase a new home, and then after buying the new home, they can get their current market onto the home while it's empty, cleaned out, do the fix-ups, and then they put it on the market to sell. Then later they take the proceeds from the sale of their old house, ideally getting to 20% loan to value, and apply that down as principal onto the new purchase, onto the new mortgage. So what happens there is, the customer needs to qualify for both mortgages, which not all our customers do, but many do. The customer still needs to put 5% down on the new mortgage. And okay, now it's a 95% loan. That's going to require mortgage insurance. But once the old home sells, they can apply the cash proceeds, again, to get to 20% down on the new mortgage, apply that onto the new mortgage to lower their principal. And now they're going to recast their loan, which is going to re-amortize the loan based on the new lower principal amount. Let's say 3 months after their purchase, they sell their new home. And so in this typical situation, ideally now they're below 80% loan to value, so we can eliminate the mortgage insurance right away. So it isn't just a short-term new mortgage with mortgage insurance. Ideally, we sell the old home and then eliminate the mortgage insurance fairly quickly thereafter. There's a $300 cost to recast a mortgage, and it isn't just a one-time feature. Let's say a year after they buy, maybe they get some inheritance, 50 grand. They can apply that down onto their mortgage, lower the principal balance, pay $300 recast fee, and now re-amortize the lower principal amount to get a lower payment. So not all of our customers qualify for it, but a lot of them will. And I think it's just a nice feature to be able to not have all the stress of buying and selling on the same day or at close to the same time. And it can really work out nicely for some of our customers. And as always, if you have anybody who has any mortgage needs, please have them reach out to me. And for Drake, if there's anything regarding any marketing needs that anybody has, please let me know and we'll connect you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that update. Great information as always. And let's just see here. I think we've got a look at the RAL report. So we will not dive into any details about the RAL report this time around, unless, Steve, there's something that just you just have to share with us. Otherwise, I like to have this in the team meeting so that you remember every Wednesday toward the end of the day, Steve sends out a new RAL report for the week. And we're in a constantly shifting and changing market right now, so we can't really wait until the month end to look at the numbers that we get from the association. So thank you to Steve for all of the hard work that he does putting this together. It's really great information, and it really allows you guys to be the economist of choice. Your folks want to know what's going on in the market and how great it is that you have up-to-date, accurate information. And just also want to put a little plug in for the hard work that Sammy does of turning this into some beautiful images that you can share with your database really easily on social media. So, so thank you for that. And I think Jessica has a productivity coaching update for us. Is that right, Jess?
That's right.
Terrific.
So I saw lots and lots of people who have homes that are coming on the market. So of course, if you have anybody that you want to hold an open house, the PC agents are happy to do that. So we do have a Facebook page. So if you want to let me know the details, I can post it on there. I am going to be putting something together for the future that kind of will make it easier to get that information out. The other exciting thing is that we are doing lead gen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I also want to invite any other agents who would like to be doing lead gen, because we know what happens when you do lead gen. You get business. So, and then once we're all, back in the office, then we can even have more fun. So, but looking forward to lots of exciting new things with the program. And next time I will have the numbers to report on. I didn't have those this time, so I'll have them for the next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you to both Jessica and Sarah for working together for the month of May to kind of make the transition for Jessica to take over the launch portion, the foundations piece of productivity coaching. And then Sarah is handling the growth portion of productivity coaching. So fantastic. Really appreciate you both. And just what a great benefit that we are able to provide to all agents who want coaching. So thank you both for your dedication to that. All right. And up next, our fearless tech trainer has a tech update for us. Sammy, tell us what you've got.
So the last couple weeks, I have been reaching out to all of you lovely agents. If you have not received a message from me or a call, don't fear, I'll get in contact with you. But I've been collecting Facebook ad stories. Basically, have you run an ad, and how much did you spend, and how many leads did you get? And I just wanted to share one of sort of the biggest wins that I have come across. So Chad started running an ad now 12 days ago. As of Monday, he put a $150 budget towards a 15-day ad. And as of Monday, he had 103 leads. Out of those 103, he's had like 6 to 8 what they call viable leads, and where they've actually had a two-way conversation with potential buyers. And that's awesome. Like, that's just proof that the business really is a numbers game. Like, the more numbers you have, the more business you will potentially get. So if you haven't received a message from me yet, I will be asking you if you've run any ads. So keep that in mind. And then tomorrow, the month of June, I'm doing MREA and tech. So tomorrow is all about lead gen, model, and command, and how to use command as a sort of broad overview and running a MREA model business. So see you tomorrow at 2.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sammy. And wow, what exciting results. I mean, if Chad closes one deal from that $150 spend, our average commission right now is probably about $7,500. That's a good return on investment. That's really, really exciting. And I will just remind everybody, if you haven't run an ad before, you get a $25 boost from KWRI when you run your first ad. So, so now is the time to take advantage and to start that Facebook ad. So go for it. All right. Well, now I am so excited to welcome our very special guest, Brittany Brams. She is a complete rock star. I've got a little bio here. I'm just going to share a couple of things about her. She's a real estate coach. She's a listing expert. And as I've shared with everybody, 200 listings, over 200 listings in a year. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, yeah, that makes her like the queen of listings. Really, really incredible. She's a top listing agent, holds the record for homes sold for Keller Williams' #1 team, the Loken Group in Houston, Texas. In her record year, she sold 200 listings in 12 months and has sold over 450 homes overall. That's a lot of houses. That's awesome. Her expertise is in asking clients the right questions, efficient listing systems, and simplifying the listing presentation. Excellent. And as a coach, she believes in helping agents get alignment in their life and business so that they can see real results. Yay! We're so excited to have you here, Brittany. And yay! Welcome.
Thank you so much. And shout out, Olivia looks like she just stepped away. Olivia was my MAPS coach when I sold 200 listings in 1 year. So Olivia, I was just giving you a shout out. Olivia knows more about me than she would care to know, has seen me cry, has seen me during my hardest year. And thank you, Olivia, for pushing me to do that. So yeah, let me take you through the story. I originally am from St. Louis, Missouri. I moved to Denver, Colorado to be with my boyfriend at the time. I was a elementary school teacher, didn't like it, taught for 1 year and thought, I want to make more money. I feel like I have more to give. Got into real estate in Denver, was with a team, still wasn't the right fit. I had student loans at this time from the master's degree that I got in education. And I thought, what am I going to do now? The Loken Group came to visit Denver, and this was, 6 years ago now. The Loken Group came to Denver, and they shared what they were doing. And at the time, no one really knew who the Loken Group was. And I'm sitting in the audience, and I'm taking pages and pages of notes, and I think, oh my gosh, I've got to do what the Loken Group's doing and do it on my team here in Denver. And I was obsessed with them. And every day I was like, well, the Loken Group does it this way. Well, we should do it this way. And I'm sure my team got so sick of me. Well, a few months after they had came to visit, it was family reunion. So I go to family reunion, ran into Lance and the team, and I went up to him and I was like, I don't know if you guys remember me. I met you in Denver. I haven't been able to stop talking about you guys. And Lance said, well, if you're so obsessed with the team, why don't you just move down to Houston and join us? And I was like, could I do that? Like, could I leave this life that I thought I had started in Denver and move to Houston? Well, needless to say, 3 weeks later, literally 3 weeks, packed up my car, broke up with my boyfriend, which now we're engaged, so that all worked out. But I left it all behind, and I was willing to do whatever it took. And I go to Houston, aligned myself with the most amazing team, and I thought to myself, what would it look like if I took advantage of every single system that this team had? What could I really do? Because their systems were already amazing. They already had ISAs. And this was, 6 years ago when people really hadn't heard of ISAs and it was such a new thing. So I started on the team as an ISA. Then I worked as a buyer's agent covering for Sarah Detmore, who was on maternity leave at the time, if anyone knows Sarah. And then moved into the listing role. And they had originally hired me to be a listing agent because that's what aligned with my personality best. And my first year on the team, I sold 68 houses. My second year, I sold 160 houses. And then my third year, I sold 199 houses. And the year that I sold 199, that's when I had hired Olivia and I told her my goal. And it was a push. And I just want you all to know, well, and let me rewind a little bit. When I had moved to Houston, I had $500 in my bank account, obviously just broke up with my boyfriend. I was in a low place, crying every day. I moved in with my sister and I go to the Loken Group and they say, so what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And I thought, I just want to be able to pay my own bills. I just want my own apartment. They're like, well, think big, dream big. And I'm like, no, I couldn't even get past that. And every day I'd wake up at 5 a.m. and I'd work out, and I could just see my apartment, and it was decorated perfectly, and I could see money in my bank account. And I knew I was going to do whatever it took. And I was eating dinner at 9, 10 o'clock at night because I was working all day. And my mom and my sister approached me and they said, Brittany, you're going to burn out. What are you doing? What are you thinking? And I didn't back down. I said, you don't understand. You don't see my goals. I'm going to fight to make this happen. And within 3 months after that time, this was shortly after joining the Loken Group. So remember, had nothing. Within 3 months, I had $15,000 in my bank account. And I thought the floodgates had opened. And I knew that day that whatever I saw in my mind, I could make a reality for me. So then it just got fun. I thought, what else could I create? What else could I do? How many listings could I sell in a year? If I literally put everything I have into this, how much could I do? And the interesting thing about the year that I sold the 199 was that was also the year of Hurricane Harvey. So if we could go back and do it again, I know Olivia and I could get even more because we did have that major hiccup of Hurricane Harvey in Houston. So, during that year, what motivated me the most was being able to accomplish goals for my family and to also show up for people on the team and people all over the country to prove what is possible when you're given the right resources. So I really share my story not to be like, look how many listings I sold. I share it because I want to inspire you to take advantage of what we're given and to see how far you can really go. It's really, really fun. So that's a little bit about me. Jessica has shared with me that your office is wanting to, have you rolled out anything with the listings in the direction that you're going there? Okay, cool. So Jessica said, hey, we're really wanting to kick up listings in the office. We'd love to have you come talk. So what we are going to do is June 26th at, I believe, 1 p.m. Is that right, Jessica? I'm going to go through my 7 secrets. And these are 7 things that when I stepped away from the team, and I didn't even finish my story, I ended up moving back to Denver to be with my fiance, became a Bold coach for 2 years, and now I'm stepping into my own coaching business and helping out our KW office here as their director of coaching. So just to finish my story there, that's what I'm doing now. And, when I stepped away from the Loken Group after selling all these listings, I thought, and I got asked this all the time, why is it that I sold the most and I still hold the record? Why is it that, what did I do different? There's other phenomenal listing agents on the team. What is it that was different about what I was doing? And I had a hard time answering that question. And after a few months of having some downtime after getting out of the chaos of listings and everything that I was doing on the team, I was able to really think and reflect on 7 things that I feel like any agent could implement. No matter what listing appointment you use, if you do these 7 things, it will put you way ahead of other agents. So on June 26th, 1 p.m., we will be doing a class on that. I'll be doing a class for your office. So mark your calendars. I'd love to see you all there and to share everything that I learned with you. And I actually wanted to walk you through something here before I end my time with you today. And so if you could participate in the chat box, or if you want to unmute, let me ask you a question because I want to shift your thinking a little bit on listings. A lot of agents are not as comfortable with listings, perhaps, get a little intimidated by it. You're referral based and you get those buyer clients like crazy and maybe not so much on the listings, and you like staying in your comfort zone of working with buyers. Let me just shift your thinking a little bit on listings. So let me ask you a question. Answer in the chat box or unmute yourself. The question I have is, tell me the reason why buyers have to buy? What would be some reasons that buyers have to buy? Anyone?
Their lease is up.
Okay, their lease is up. Now, if their lease is up, do they absolutely 100% have to buy? They could sign another lease. They could lease a house, right? So what would be a reason that a buyer absolutely, no other option, they have to buy a house? They want to grow wealth. So do they, and this is kind of a trick question, maybe you guys know where I'm going with this. They want to grow wealth. Do they absolutely have to buy? They could grow wealth in other ways. So the only reason that I could think of that a buyer absolutely has to buy, and this goes a little bit in line with what you're saying, John, is a 1031 exchange that they would have to buy. Like, we want to avoid the high taxes, we have to buy, we sold an investment property, we're going to buy another one. That's the only reason I could think of. Can anyone think of any others? I mean, it is like no other option, they have to buy. Okay, that's what I thought. 1031 exchange was really the only one. And even then it's like, well, you could still pay the high taxes. All right, so now, next question. When do sellers have to sell? No other option, they have to sell. Yeah, their job. Lost their job. Loss of a job, death and having to sell the house. Okay, divorce. So all these instances, really what it narrows down to is they can no longer afford the house. So let's say lost your job, can no longer afford the house, have to sell. Relocating, can't afford to keep the house and move and have another place to live, can't afford it, have to sell. A death in the family, can't afford the house, or there's no one to occupy or own the house now, house has to be sold. Divorce, same thing, can no longer afford the house, has to sell. Need liquidity, yeah, again, it's financial, right? So how many did we just come up there with? Loss of a job, relocating, death, divorce, need the money. That's 5, and I bet you there's more. So the reason why I walked you through this is because when we think about buyers who absolutely have to buy no matter what, I mean, the list is like down here. Have to sell, now we're up here. When we think about coronavirus, what's happening in our communities and your city, prayers for you guys. When people are scared, they're scared to make a decision, buyers may pull back and say, you know what, pump the brakes, we're going to wait. Sellers, on the other hand, there are people out there who do not have a choice. They can no longer afford the house and they need your help. So let's remove this fear that we have around listings. And I'm not good with listings. It's never been my thing. Whatever story you're telling yourself, remove it now, because there are people who are going to need your help. They're going to need your expertise. They need your heart and your guidance and your care. And I would bet that if you're great with buyers, you have a huge heart. And these people who all that you've listed in the chat here need your help. So as you walk into this next month of the focus is on listings and you think, nope, not going to listen to it, that's not my thing, I'm referral based, I work with buyers, put your guard down for just a second and think about, we are living in the most uncertain of times ever. But let me tell you, it's always been uncertain. This could have happened last year, the year before that. We've just had the luxury of living in a pretty predictable world. So if I were you, I would arm myself with every skill set I possibly could in the real estate world to protect not only your finances, your family, your business, but think about your community and all those people who we got to make sure they don't fall into the hands of a crappy agent, because we need to help them save as much money and earn as much money from the sale of their house as possible. So I hope that inspires you in some way to just open your mind to, you know what if I could be good at listings? And what if it could be easy? And you guys already know this, working with sellers saves you time. You go to the appointment one time, or maybe it's even virtual, and your market, I know it's a hot market right now, pretty much bank on if you get a listing, you get a paycheck. With buyers, it's multiple offers. Do they have a good enough, do they have enough money to be competitive in multiple offer situations? And get off that hamster wheel and think, wow, this could be so much easier. How about I open my mind up to what listings can do for my business? So that is what I will leave you with today, and more to come. June 26th, 1 p.m., I'll be sharing my 7 secrets.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, Brittany, that is so exciting. You've got us on the edges of our seats.
Good.
We do have a couple more minutes. Would you mind if we open it up in case somebody has a burning question that they
Sure.
just can't wait for the 26th to ask?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I'll start us off, and if anybody has a question that they want to drop into the chat, then we'll get to that in just a second. Can you tell us what you might suggest? How does somebody, what's the daily routine of somebody who does 200 listings in a year look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I was selling the 200 in a year, my alarm was going off at 4:45 in the morning. I was at the gym at 5:30. That was my saving grace. I had to be at the gym. It was just something that kept my mind right. So I was at the gym 5:30 to 6:30. I would come home, shower, get makeup on, and to those who wear makeup, do your hair, all that, you got to dial your time down. I mean, I had it down. I could shower and be ready to walk out the door in 30 minutes. I had no time to waste. So getting quick on that is really important. Then I would, of course, eat breakfast, and I would have quiet time for probably 45 minutes. And by the way, this whole morning, I have not once checked my email, have not responded to any text if I received any overnight, didn't look at any social media in this whole time so far that I've walked you through. So then I had about 45 minutes of quiet time, and I would do my Miracle Morning, which is, if you guys haven't ever heard of the Miracle Morning, there's a book for it. And there's also a Miracle Morning for real estate agents. I just had the regular one. That's what I had from the very beginning. And it is 6 things that you do every morning, which is write in a journal, say affirmations. I would always write 10 things that I was grateful for, meditate or pray, read, and then work out. So I'd already have my workout. My reading for me, I would do on Audible in the car. So if you're like, I'm not a morning person, nope. You can do all these things right before you go to bed even. So whatever works for you, or even throughout the day, the purpose is to get them all in. So for me, I had to have that quiet time in the morning. I would visualize my goals, and then I would visualize, what do I need to do today to get me one step closer to that goal? So visualization was huge for me. Same with writing in the journal, the affirmations. If for some reason I didn't have a lot of time that day, I would do all of that in 10 minutes. I liked the time though. It was quiet time for me. I wasn't answering my phone. I usually did about 45 minutes, maybe even an hour sometimes. Then once I was done with that, I would open my computer and I'd get started on email. I requested from our ISAs that set our appointments, I always requested no appointments before 10 a.m. for me. That's what worked for me. Because what I would do is, okay, so like, let's go back to the timing of it. So 5:30 to 6:30 at the gym. I'd say by 7:30, I was doing my routine, ate breakfast, I'm all ready, dressed, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd say right around 8 o'clock is probably when I started checking email, maybe even a little before then. Checking email, responding to things, catching up, getting that all cleared out. I would run all of my comps for the day. And most of the time I'm walking out the door 10 a.m. usually to an appointment. Let's say it's like 10:30. So when I walked out the door to go on these appointments, my email inbox was completely clear. I had a list. I still have it. I keep a notebook with me at all time, like cheapy little notebooks that I get off Amazon. I'm always writing down notes so that I don't forget anything. And I would normally walk out the door with a list of people to call once I got in the car, anything that I just needed reminders of for that day. So when I went on these listing appointments, and normally I was going on 3 to 4 a day, I could walk in with a totally clear mind. And I wasn't walking out the door rushed. I didn't think, oh my gosh, I gotta get out the door to this listing appointment. I gotta call this person. I never had that energy. I was clear-minded. My email box was clear. I knew exactly what I was doing and I was focused. And Olivia will be the first to tell you when my conversion rate would drop and we looked at, okay, Brittany, what's changed for you? It would be, I wasn't going to the gym because I was tired. I didn't do my morning time. Wasn't allowing myself that time to be focused early in the morning. And then it just threw off my energy because every single listing appointment that I would go on, I'd pull in the driveway and I would picture our sign in the yard and I would picture their house on our brochure and I would picture this listing appointment going perfectly and I know exactly what to say. And then they love me and they sign with me. I had all of this energy going when I would pull up at the door. So just to finish answering your question, so I go on 3 to 4 listing appointments, normally back to back to back. If I had 30 minutes in between any of those or anything like that, I'd be pulled over in a gas station. I have my laptop open. I'm answering certain things, calling people. And by the time I walked in the door, normally I was home by 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes earlier, and would maybe catch up on a few emails, and I would go to bed early. I had to, and I would do it all over again the next day. It wasn't easy. It was, it was like training for a marathon, and I truly loved it. And I liked pushing myself. So it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, I know. I sold $199 and not $200. I just go with $200 though, because otherwise everyone's like, $199, that's a weird number. Yeah.
Any other Olivia questions? To razz you about it.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a question for Britt before we let her go? And just reminder that she is teaching on the 26th. And we have 11 a.m. on our calendar, but we'll confirm just to be sure. But maybe it's 1. We'll make sure that we've got the right time, Brittany. If you got 1, we'll change ours. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, it's at 1.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
1 o'clock.
It was updated on the visual today on the.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've got an old calendar. It's me. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, we will, Olivia, you don't have a question for Brittany?
I could ask many, but I would say, tell them about your personal time and how, when you did take personal time off, what that looked like, because what you just stated made it seem like you worked 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to 9 o'clock every day. And that wasn't true, because when you did leave out of town, you didn't work, and you didn't work.
Yeah. And this was my choice because this is what I wanted to do. So remember how I left my boyfriend in Denver at the time? We dated long distance for like 3.5 years. And it was important to me to have time that I could go and travel, or for him to come visit, and I could totally disconnect. So it was my choice that I would work sun up to sundown every day until I wanted to take 4 days off. So normally what I would do is work sometimes even 14 days straight to then take 4 days off. And when I took those days off, I know this sounds crazy to some of you. You're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. This is what worked for me. And it didn't necessarily have to be that way. I could have ended my day at 6 p.m. and still had the success that I had. I know that could have been possible. So when I took those 4 days off, Elena, who is my transaction coordinator, everything would be forwarded to her. It was truly completely hands off. So we communicated so well that she knew everything that was going on with my clients. I would forward emails and forward my phone to her, and I would pay her $250 a day to cover for me. So $1,000 for 4 days, because it was a lot to handle, and it was a total godsend that I was able to do that and trust her with my clients. And she's better than me. And let that be a whole nother lesson to hire people that are better than you.
Looks like we have one more question. Tom has a question. What was your ratio of listing appointments to listing contracts?
Yeah, good question. I would say it was right around 75%, sometimes a little lower. Just being straight honest with you guys. Yeah, I wasn't taking every listing that I was going on. I think a lot of people think, oh, you were with a big team, you were with #1 team, of course listings were easy for you. And that definitely wasn't the case. And in many ways, it worked against us. So we always had to battle that. People didn't necessarily want this big team. They wanted the local expert or someone who lived in their neighborhood. So we definitely had our fair share of objections.
Sure. All right. Oh, let's see. Did you have an assistant? Oh, yeah, she was a part of a big team. So yeah, so you mentioned transaction coordinator. And you mentioned ISA, so tell us how that was structured for you on the team.
Yeah, so the team is super leveraged. No way could I have done this on my own. No way. We had ISAs who were setting appointments for the buyer's agents and the listing agents. Mm-hmm. If my appointments ever dipped down and I had free time, they did expect us to lead generate. I never had to. Our ISAs kept us very busy. So our ISAs set all of our appointments. We had an ISA is an inside sales agent. So they are the ones calling the expireds for sell by owners, taking inbound calls, managing web leads. Lance markets with Barbara Corcoran through Rate, Real Estate Agents I Trust, if you guys have seen that on Facebook with other agents. So we had radio commercials, television commercials, and a lot of marketing. We had a whole separate marketing department. And then for my side, so the appointment would be set, I ran comps. I went on the appointment. I would do all the negotiations. I was the main point of contact for the seller throughout the whole transaction, all the way till closing. And then Elena was my transaction coordinator. She only handled my files. So she did everything pre-listing and contract to close just for me. So we had a beautiful partnership that worked really, really well. And then there's other things on the team that are happening behind the scenes to keep it a well-oiled machine. If you guys are interested in more about the Loken Group, I can type it in the chat here. They have a website and it's tlgshares.com. You can find their org chart. You can find, there's so many resources there. You can see their listing presentation. You can see just about anything. So take a look. They love sharing with agents. And if you have any referrals in Houston, call the Loken Group.
Yes.
And they have scripts. Yes, Olivia.
Yes, scripts too. We were fortunate to host Lance Loken here for our business planning clinic last year. So many of our agents had the pleasure of seeing Lance present their amazing business at that time. But you know, it for a lot of people, it's hard to wrap your head around because it's a phenomenal business that works really well for them. And thank you so much for sharing with us, Brittany. And I know I'm looking forward to, and I know the agents are looking forward to hearing your 7 secrets. I am grateful that you made the time to be at our team meeting today, and grateful that you're going to share later on in the month. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm also going to share a way for you guys to learn my listing presentation, the whole system. So when you come to the class, I'll tell you more about how to get that. So if you're like, sure, the 7 secrets sound great, I want to know exactly what you did, I'll be sharing that with you as well. We just don't have enough time in that one slot. I will share with you how to get it though after the class. So
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for
That is so generous, Brittany.
for reaching out and inviting me to the call. And go get those listings. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Brittany. We appreciate it so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
everybody, that is our team meeting for the day. So thank you all for being a part of the conversation, and watch for an email from Steph with more information about the listing contest. And have a great week, guys. Bye.
Thank you.